Today we will be discussing sequence. Sequence means pattern, a particular pattern of numbers. So we have sequence. Sequence, whenever we say any kind of sequence, then we mean that there is a particular order or pattern of something. Now there must be some arranged concept, but here we are saying sequence of numbers. So sequence of numbers means the numbers successive observation of the numbers means successive numbers must have some uh, kind of common thing. What common thing? We have two ideas: either there will be a difference, fixed difference between the numbers, or there may be a ratio, common ratio. The numbers bear a same ratio. वो दोनों ही हो सकता है. So like first type what I am discussing is called arithmetic sequence, but we don't say the word sequence commonly. We say the word progression. So when we say the word progression, in short we say AP. What does it mean? AP is nothing but the numbers must have some gap, same gap. Like it may be increasing or it may be decreasing. Like if I say -8, then 1, then 10, then 19, etc. So we are clear. Minimum we need 3 to 4 numbers to identify the sequence. Otherwise we cannot identify the nature of sequence, because when you see this pattern, we are seeing the difference between 19 and 10 is 9, 10 and 1 is 9, and 1 are -8, 1 and -8, ये दोनों के बीच में भी 9. The difference should be a fixed number, and that fixed number may be positive number, maybe negative number. If the fixed number, which is the difference, is positive, then it is increasing. So it is increasing, it is gradually increasing from one number to next number. But if I write this way, if I get a sequence of this kind, 2 minus 3 minus 8 minus 13, then we see that the numbers are getting decreasing, and the numbers getting decreasing by 5. So now the gap is -5. The previous one, it was +9, positive, it is increasing, and the next one, the gap is -5, so it is decreasing AP. Now what we see in this sequence of numbers, one very simple observation we can have, like one kind of sequence we are seeing, like 72, then 79, then 86, and minimum 3 numbers we need. I have 4 numbers here, and I'm asking the what will be the 11th number. 11th number means we say 11th term. So I'm not saying any formula, I'm just thinking, just observing and then thinking. So what I am finding, each gap is 7. First and second gap is 7, second and third gap is 7, third and fourth gap is 7. So if I want to reach from 72 to 93, there will be 3 gaps. So this 93 is fourth term. We can say this T1 means the first term, also denoted by A. A means the first term, which can be T1 or first term, that is 72. Now when we are wanting to reach fourth term, that means T4. And what is the idea? What I am finding is 3 gaps. Why? To reach the any like fifth term, seventh term, whatever term you are wanting, there will be one less gap, obviously, because first term, second term, third term, fourth term, see the gap, 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gap. So fourth term we have 3 gaps. Now if you watch this one, each gap is of 7. So obviously 72 plus 21. Why 21? Because 7 into 3 gaps. So you will be getting 72 plus 21 is 93. That is obvious, which we are observing from the given sequence. It is not series. Series is a different word I will discuss in next discussions. Now what I am saying, 72 we are starting and reaching 93 at a fourth term. So we are observing this as 93, but even if we don't have the result as 93, I can find it out by thinking in this way. Fourth term will be there are 3 gaps, each gap is of 7, because 72 and 79, the gap is 7. 79 to 86, gap is 7. So there will be 3 gaps, 3 into 7, 21, 21 plus 72 is 93. That we have found that it will be 93 not only from the observation but from not only from the given sequence of numbers but from the observation also. But my question is 11th term. So 11th term means 10 gaps. 10 gaps means 7 into 10, 70. So my figure will be 72 plus 70, it will be 142. So 11th term will be 142. So this is the point what we need to remember. So this idea in this sequence we must remember, but we have some kind of fixed thought, fixed idea, because we believe that whenever we are calculating it is better to have some formula. हम लोग को formula पसंद है, हम लोग को always concept से करेंगे ये बहुत ज़रूरी नहीं है, फॉर्मूला से करेंगे तो बेटर होगा. तो फॉर्मूला कैसे होगा, देखो फॉर्मूला हो रहा है, देखो हम एक फॉर्मूला बना रहे हैं nth टर्म का. आज का मेरा डिस्कशन पूरा टर्म ओरिएंटेड है कि कौन सा टर्म निकालना चाहते हैं. nth टर्म को लिखते हैं tn, ये फॉर्मूला. nth टर्म मीन्स कोई पर्टिकुलर टर्म ऑफ द सीक्वेंस a plus n minus 1 into d. So this is called the term. Now this term we have. Now what is the idea? N means number of term which we want to know, a means the first term, and d is the difference, that is second term minus first term, that will be difference. The same difference will be third term minus second term. This way we will get the successive difference. We call it common difference. The word common means same. So when the difference is same or common, then we can calculate this difference from the successive terms gap. Now what we can have a question like this, that find, a question is given which we can find out by previous concept, but I am wanting to use the formula. Find the 15th term. Find the 15th term. This is 15th term. Find the 15th term of the sequence 3.2, 4.7, 6.2, etc. So it's a clear idea that the gap is there. What type of gap? 3.2 and 4.7. So it is 1.5 gap, and 4.7 to 6.2 again 1.5. So difference is 3.2 and 4.7, the difference, and same difference is 6.2 and 4.7. So the difference is 1.5. Therefore you have your difference. Now looking at the formula, a is the first term which is 3.2. n means which term? Which term we are asking? I am asking 15th term. So your answer will be 15th term. We can write T15 according to this notation will be equal to a plus, what is a? A we are writing as 3.2 plus n minus, that is 15 minus 1, 14 into 1.5. So 14 into 1.5 is 21. 3.2 plus 21 gives you 24.2. That's the answer of 15th term. Now we can have some kind of questions like this one, ki particular two terms are given. We can have the answer. Two terms means like how many terms? This is a very this next question like this. I can have this one. Third term of an AP. Third term of an AP is equal to, AP is expressed as the sequence nature and given as 7, and sixth term is given as 13. Find suppose ninth term. So what to do? Or eighth term, better let us be eighth term. So how to deal this question? We need to have difference and then we can calculate. Also we can find first term also. Any term I can find, but that requires that this D difference. So normal formula, if you apply normal formula algebraically, if you do, third term is T3, which will be a plus, I am using common mathematical or algebraic concept, a plus 2d, because we don't know a first term and difference d, and that is equals to 7. And the sixth term T6 if I write, that will be A plus 5D, and that is given as 13. So we can subtract and very easily we can get the result, that is 3D is equal to 6 and D is equal to 2, and then we need to find out T8, but we need first term also. So putting in the first equation, if I put in the first equation, so A plus 10, because 5 into 2 is 10, is equal to 13. So A is equal to 13 minus 10, 3. It's a purely normal simultaneous equation, and finding A and D, then getting the 8th value. So 8th value will be A, that is 3 plus 7 into 2. So your answer comes to your 14 plus 3, that is 17. But this concept is, I don't think it's a very good one to follow always, because what we can think, look at the idea what I want to use in my concept. I know that third term is 7 and sixth term is 13. So what I am thinking, there will be how many gaps? Third term to fourth term, one gap. Fourth term to fifth term, another gap, and fifth term to sixth term. So there are 3 gaps. 3 gaps. So 3 gaps means 3 difference, and numbers are 13 and 7. 13 minus 7 is 6. So 6 is for difference of 3. So for each difference, difference of 1 will be 2. Think it. Each gap of difference 2. That I can find out from this idea, that 13 minus 7 is 6. But that is due to 3 differences. So for each difference it will be 2, unitary method. So D is equal to 2. As soon as I am getting, I want 7th term is 15 and 8th term is 17, because 13 plus 2 is 15, that is 7th term, and 15 plus 2 is 17, that is 8th term. Now some students have done this topic in their previous classes. But I think the method which we need, not purely algebra, mainly I want to discuss this topic so that a student can understand the application of this topic, where it will be applied. It will be applied in depreciation or interest calculation, simple concept, because one constant number will be added. You remember straight line method in depreciation, that same number is getting reduced from the value of the item. That is difference. Now we'll discuss in future that ideas of depreciation and all. I am discussing one more formula, not formula, and a concept I am giving. This is a concept I give, this shortcut concept. Nth term minus the first term, if you subtract, divided by the difference plus 1, will be always n. So any sequence, the last number, the nth number you can say, and the first number, last minus first. Nth number is the last number if I consider, and the first number, last minus first divided by difference plus 1 will be n. Now let us take an example. N means number of terms. And one more idea is there, that is nth term minus first term divided by last term minus first term, also you can say, n minus 1, number of terms we know, then we will get difference. Now how to get the difference, this will be the second rule, and how to get the number of terms, we can use the first rule. This is shortcut or whatever you can say. Now taking this concept like find how many numbers are divisible or multiple. Same thing, divisible means multiple. Divisible of that will be 13 between 100 and 400. So how many numbers you will be getting which are divisible by 13 between 100 and 400. Now it will take some time to calculate, but we can do one thing. You take your calculator. First you divide 100 by 13. So if you divide 100 by 13, you will get 7 point something. We don't take 7 point, whenever it is point, take the next figure, that is 8. So your first number after 100 which is divisible by 13 will be 13 into 8. How you get 8? 13 into 7 is 91. using calculator, and the next number is 13 into 8 is 104. So you will start from 104. I have to count the numbers which are divisible or multiple by 13. So first number is 104. So next number will be 117, because next will be increased by 13. The next will be 130. So this way I can count and reach 400, then we'll stop. But it's taking a long term. So we can do this way: 400 by 13. Then we'll get what? We'll get 30 point something. We take the previous number, because we have this restriction that between 100 and 400 I cannot exceed this 400. So you have to take 13 into 3, 13 into 30, 13 into 30, and that is 390. So the last number is 390. So we start from 100 form. This is the first number. Then there is AP. Why? Gap is 13. Why? Because we are divisible. We are taking the numbers divisible by 13. So 104 to 390. How it is 390? Because if you take 14, it will be 400 something. If you take 40, then it will be 400 something. So this way we cannot, because if you take 31, not 40, 31 into 13 will be 403. 31 into 30 is 403, but I cannot take any number more than 400. In the previous case, when I am taking the first number, then we cannot take before 100. So we have to take any number after 100, that is 104, and the last number is 390. So we have a formula. Which formula? The first one, last number minus first number. So what we can do, the last number is 390 and the first number is 104. So how to solve this calculation? N, how many numbers are there, and what is the difference? Difference is 3. So it will be 390 minus 104 divided by the difference plus 1. You will be getting your answer, and that is the number of terms. So this is obviously you will get the result 390 minus 104, and you will be getting 390 minus 104 then divided by your 13, and your answer will be of course the number of terms, that is 22 is coming. So 22 plus 1, so it will be 23 terms. So you cannot count you can count from like this 104, 117, 130, 23 numbers you have to count. It will be taking long time. Easiest way, the last number you know, and you know first number. You start from 104, and then the last number is 390. Last minus first divided by difference plus 1. This is the idea of arithmetic progression. That way we have to calculate different types of problems. This is all about arithmetic progression or AP.